my people to use, and I don't wanna miss nothing nice that I can do for you. I know you love me. I know you love me the way I am. But oh, girl, something deep down inside of me keeps saying do more if you can.
YouTube. What y'all know about inmate Reginald Haynes, man? You know what I mean? Yeah, I know this is like a test run on my live, man. I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. It's kind of like my first actual live, you know. Um, and this is the first stage of it because it's just getting the technology together, you know, and then chopping it up and building with y'all and hoping that everybody's on board and in tune, you know. One of the things I want to start with is Big U, man. Hey, man, you got a prayer from me, brother. And one of the things we need to do as a black community, aside from the fact that we should be in solidarity as a Crip car, honestly, man, when somebody comes outside of the Crips to attack the Crips, and you know, we may have our inner, you know, differences within the car, man, but outside of the car, man, it's like we on the yard together, man. You know what I mean? And you know, I don't want to designate any particular faction, but somebody comes outside of the, you know, the car and they want to attack a homie, man, even though our sets may not get along or we may have differences on the streets, man, you got to look at it like, hey, man, this is an outside force trying to attack a Crip, man. How do you join hands with anybody that's aggressing a Crip? I don't get that. I really don't get that, man. We somewhere else doing something else. And these are things that we need to improve on and correct. These are mistakes, right? It's a mistake to do that. To speak ill or evil or wrong about Big U at this point in your life, man. You know, you know somebody from 60s, man, get in contact with them, man, and let them know that you and your homies are in solidarity with Big U, man, because that brother did great things for the image of Crippin' in general, man, if you think about it. You know, I said it, you know, in my first post about him. I said, man, you know, that brother's a father. He's empowering his family, right? You wouldn't condemn Kennedy for, you know, being a whatever, you know, if you know the history of the Kennedy family, I don't want to get in the mud, but I'm saying if none of y'all condemn the Kennedys for what means and methods he used to get his family across to where they're, you know, they're world leaders. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know, negativity is a special type of negativity, right? And we need to learn the lessons of negativity, man, so that we're not those people, man, that we can't be used like that, right? We shouldn't allow ourselves to be used like that. Oh, wow, I got a technological issue and nobody's in here with me. That's good. That's good. Reflect. Go back on it. So, like I said, brother's a father. You know, he's a husband. He's a praying man. He's a beacon in his community. He's a businessman, right? And he's known to be forward about what he's doing. He pushes it. And he doesn't apologize for being a Crip while he's doing it. He doesn't apologize for being from Rolling 60s while he's doing all of these things. He's telling you, in essence, you can clean up, man. Now, how important is that for those coming behind them. Do you see the value in that? I do. I do. You mean to tell me we can live that damn chaotic life that we live, that self-destructive and self-demoralizing life that we lived as gang members, gang enforcers, gang leaders, haters of each other, killers and murderers of each other, dope dealers, and all of this sickness that we got involved in, man. Okay, I understand. You know, in slavery we had to eat chitlins, man. It wasn't the best food, but it was what was available, so we made use of it. Now that we got a better diet available, are we making any changes? That's the question. You gonna hold on to, what was going on that you didn't have any choice in, and now you have a choice, and you're gonna still hold on to the thing that you did when you didn't have a choice? Serious questions, man. Some of these things we're gonna have to answer these things, man, or get out the way. Right? Some of these things we need to confront people about, and then, if they can't give us the answers, or we can't strategically approach it to get a resolve in it, then get the hell out the way, man. Right? That's the other part of cripping, like moving you out the way. Like, when you're not qualified to be in front of us. And that was one of my previous posts as well, man. I wanted to know what the qualifications were for being in leadership as a Crip in front of the homies, right? So with that said, man, that being said, I've seen that there's a 107-page indictment. Shout out to those who have just, a good heart on the subject, and they're just trying to bring the information for you to understand the range of problems our brothers facing right now, man. Just, you can't, outside of what's going on in the house, right? Don't try to go over there and control what your neighbor doing in his house, right? But inside of this house, this blue house that we live in, that we call the Crips and the Crip Car and all of that stuff, man, it's a little bit of order that we can restore inside of our own house, right? I keep saying this, man. Our unity is more powerful than a hydrogen or a nuclear bomb, man. We could get it done. Seriously. We have what we need to get it done. And here's a brother giving us a living example, one of our own, giving us a living example of how to go about getting it done, and giving a strong presentation and representation while he's doing it, man. Come on, man. You got to be kidding me, man. You got something negative to add or say to what's going on with this brother's legal dilemma? I think he was set up. I think it was a setup. I don't think he did anything wrong. I don't believe a word of it. Right? Y'all act like when the white man put something on a piece of paper, right, it was Jesus. That's how y'all act. Like that, Jesus wrote that. So you can't challenge that, because, the white man is like Jesus to y'all still. So you can't challenge that. That's the white authority. And that's a complex that we've been living under for over 460 years. And it's always been erroneous. White superiority or supremacy over black inferiority. You got to be kidding me, man. You don't know that yet? Are you trying to know? Are you trying to learn? Are you trying to improve, self-improve, and get better at your perspective on life, so that, if you don't think You know, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you can't think bigger than that, you ain't damn sure ain't gonna be bigger than it. Thought precedes every course of action that you've ever seen in your life, man. You look around and you tell me one thing that you see with your physical eye that thought didn't bring about or came about without a thought. It don't exist, man. Thought precedes all actions, right? So we got to think about what it is we're saying, think about what it is we're doing in relation to the dilemma of our brother right now. I mean, the brother cried out, man, on the video. He said, man, y'all help me, man. If you help me, okay, but if you don't, and that's him losing hope. Like he's saying, man, you know, I fought for y'all, man. And then y'all coming out here and condemning me in public opinion. Do you understand the value of public opinion? Really? Do we understand what public opinion does? You know, a lot of public opinion plays out in the courtroom with the juries. You know that, right? So here's a man, listen, man, he's actually helping. I remember I was on a talk show with it was a radio show. I wasn't physical, it wasn't visual. It was just a radio talk show with Dr. Wilmer Leon. And we was talking about gang life. It was a brother from Chicago and me. And we were talking about gang life. And I was, you know, he was impressed, like, in that I had evolved from a former state as a, you know, a LA gang enforcer, man. He was impressed with that. But when I made this statement, it completely threw him off. I said, Doc, I'm going to die a Crip. I'm still a Crip. Right? It messed him up. Why? Because in all of my growth and self-improvement and all of my expressing to him, you know, the path that I went down to arrive at the point I'm at, he completely negated all of that in his associations, his perspective giving to him, because he's never been a Crip. He's never walked a mile in the shoe of a Crip. How would he know? Right? But an opinion, a public opinion of the Crips dominated his perception of who I was at that point. Even though I had just expressed to him who I was currently, where I was currently in my growth and development, he abandoned all of that when I said, Doc, I'm going to die a Crip. He didn't understand what I was saying. Right? Don't ever forget what you went through to arrive at where you are. Ever. If that path that you went down wasn't necessary for you to grow, to evolve, to become who you are and who you're becoming, if it wasn't necessary, it wouldn't have happened. Think about that. So, back to you, man. Big you. Hey, this Fat Rat, man. You know, I got history with the 60s, man. Personal history with the 60s, man. When I got to YTS, man, the first dude I got close to right across the cell from me in Y and Z orientation was Big Fish, man. Rest in peace, man. That was my partner, man. First got the TS, before I got the TS, man. PD Wack and all them, man. We was there, man. I'm just saying I have a history with the 60s. And you know the Playboy gangsters in the 60s had a problem. But is that important in the face of what we're dealing with right now? When we've established a truce, and Big U reached out to some of my homies and tried to help them learn the path to establishing a 501c3 in the neighborhood and starting, to put, what was it, a youth intervention, and starting, a league, getting into establishing a league of sport league, the football leagues and basketball, baseball leagues and stuff like that, to go back to the community and make good, to rebuild what you wasted. He called the homies and told them, "I got a way for you, man. Let's set up a meeting." And I'm gonna venture to say we ain't the only set he called with that. Are you gonna let a bunch of nobody people, right, insignificant in relation to the Crip car, speak condemnation, and you gonna join in that voice to speak condemnation on Big U? That's insane, man. That's crabs in a barrel personified. That's exactly what that means. In the derogatory sense of you being a Crip. That's crabs in a barrel. That being said, man, I just wanted to come on here and check my live ability. I guess it's working. I got to make some adjustments to it. I'm doing something wrong. It's giving me a warning. Okay, so with that being said, man, let's get ready, man, cause we coming. Like the Playboy gangsters is coming to the internet, man. The real ones. We're coming to the internet, man. Some of us have already arrived in some capacity, but we're coming, and we're coming to get organized. We're coming to document our own personal history so that we don't leave the interpretation of what happened with us to the distorted perception of anybody else. We're going to tell our own damn story, right? Unapologetically, right? And then we're going to offer our services. We're going to offer our services. We're going to unite with those who are willing to unite and establish a common agenda, right? Not just socializing, man. I always had a problem with people who socialize and didn't have a business meeting. As I've grown and become a man, right, and become a business owner and things of those nature, man, I don't like it when I see my homies in a social gathering that they don't end with a business meeting. Like, why are y'all just sitting around drinking and smoking and talking, and like life is some kind of damn party that everybody else is missing? We're not solving any of our problems. Business don't have to be that we're starting a literal entity, a LLC, a S corp, or C corp. We a sole proprietorship. It don't have to be that. The first order of business is the health and well-being of the homies. How's everybody doing, man? How's your health, homie? What are you doing about this? What are you doing about that, man? We lost Shark, man. We lost a lot of homies, but this is health starting to. We're getting older, bruh. We need things in place for the homies who are getting older to help them with their health. Do you care? Like, do we even care, man? So we got a lot to do, and we're just establishing a presence and a place in public opinion, in the view of public opinion. Remember that we coming out for you to say, truthfully, based on your observation of how we represent ourselves, do you want to unite with us? and help us to go into our neighborhoods and restore order, right? And it's we're not reinventing the wheel, man. Jim Brown had a good concept, man, that America Can, man. Shout out to Jim, rest in peace, man. Beautiful brother, man. Had a good program, man. There's programs out here that we can unite with and go rescue our people from that deplorable condition in the mind. The first work, man. We got to get you to think right, man. You're not even thinking right. So the Playboy Gangsters is coming, man. We're coming as a unified group, a core group to restore order, right? And to lay a foundation and a basis for operating in our area and uniting with those who are working in their area to increase the momentum of us covering down on the whole county of Los Angeles as a starter. We have the potential, and some of the homies are already there, going international, man. A lot of people adopted our way of doing things, man. They love that Crip swag, that blood swag. You hear me? They love it. But you can do something good with that. You don't have to just destroy with that. You know, we went to war, man. Some of us are back to tell you. We don't need to be at war anymore with each other, man. Maybe the training that came from being an actual gang enforcer was necessary roughness, man. To rid ourselves of that punk stuff, man. Maybe it was necessary roughness. But we, as Gangster says, man, we can no longer continue to hurt or harm our people, man. And that's just a truism, man. Let's find a way to each other, man. Let's do that. That's real work, man. And let's stop allowing people from within our own house. We talk that snitch crap. We talk that chump crap. Like you a chump, or you a snitch, or you a derelict, or this dude a buster, and that. But ain't it buster shit if the homies hook up with the FBI and start talking negative about one of the homies? You over there with the FBI condemning a Crip, and you say you a Crip. Think about that, man. Really? That's acceptable. I beg to differ, man. I really do. We can do better than that, man. Shout out to Big U, man, his family, the 60s who support you, man, and stand behind you and Big U and try to help that brother, man. Y'all make his information available, man. Let's flood that brother's mail line, with cards saying, man, we appreciate what you did, and give him some hope, man, and some inspiration, man, to get through this thing, man. Huh? Let him know, man, we in solidarity. We with you. I'm with you, man. And if I'm, one of a chosen few, it always been like that anyway, man. It's always 5% doing the work of the other 95 anyway. And it's a 5% in everything we do. It don't have to stay that way, but damn it can start that way though, right? So that's my declaration, man. Stand in solidarity with that brother, man. Pray for him. Send them a letter, man, a card, right? Let's hook up with some of the homies from 60s, man, and get his information. And he's publicly, man, he's publicly known, man, to be, it's government, man. So, you can just call the system and get his information, man. Rally and support, man. That brother needs our help now. This is the time to show that we can stand in solidarity behind him. I don't care what you said he did, man. You just talking at this point. I don't care if you got a 321 page indictment. When the feds come, you're done. Ain't that something? That's how we used to ride, man. On our enemies. That nigga so-and-so on his way over here with a gun. Scare tactics, man. We beyond that now, though. You can't scare us no more. I don't believe that. Not the real ones. You can't scare us with that talk, man. We know you're a bad actor, man. But we ain't no pushovers, man. We not lightweight people, man. We not gonna allow you to do us that way. Right? Think about it, y'all. Again, shout out to Big U and his family, man. Okay, with that being said, man, that's everything I wanted to do, man. I wanted to do a sound check, a visual check, to make sure I can do my fly-ins and all of these different types of things, man. That's all it ever was, man. With that being said, it's your homeboy Fat Rat Evolved, original Westside Playboy Gangsta Crips, man. Remember, we're winners. All of us. We are winners. We are on a 1,000-mile journey that begins with one step, taking us one step closer to our success. With unity, we can accomplish all things. Stop trying to do it by yourself. It's not working. It is not working. You have to seek counsel. You have to be amenable, open to counsel from those who went through what you're trying to get through. Right? And with that being said, I'm out, y'all.